What up my people, welcome to another beautiful tutorial. Here on this particular tutorial I just want to explain how I was able to copy Victony kind of vocal. Yeah, I just wanted to make something closer to his kind of vocal, so I'm going to show you guys how I was able to make this possible. Yeah, this was how I got the song.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria, the way you give me like a fire.
Yeah, this is how I got the song. Like, that's the raw version of the song after just doing the cleanup. And let me show you how I was able to make the song sound.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria, the way you give me like a fire.
Yeah, so that's it. Without wasting much time, let me just show you how I was able to make this possible. Okay, so let's go. The first plugin I'm adding is my NS1 mono. I love using this plugin because this plugin just helps to reduce, or should I say reduce or remove those background noises, maybe those static sound coming from your recordings, or maybe some studio noise, just any background noise. Yeah, this will help you just reduce it. And here I left it in 10. It's very easy to use. Just put it on, then you just increase it to 10. So that's it. The next one I'm adding is, of course, the auto tune. The auto tune. So auto tune is best when you know your key of your instrumental. That's when you know the key of your beat. The auto tune will sit well and it will make more to sound good. Yeah, so this one I already know the key of my beat, and if you don't know the key of your beat, there are some plugins out there you can use to get it easily. There's one called Key Finder. It's free and it's easy to use. That one will just tell you the key of your beat. So the key of this instrumental is G major. So you can see it. I'm using my auto tune. I'm using the Wavestone real time. You can see G major is highlighted, while the speed, I put it around 10, the transition to around 10, and I left it in 10 because when I was monitoring his vocal around this keyboard area, this was where his vocals lie. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria, the way you give me like a fire. Fine girl from Asia, was her name Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria, the way you give me like a fire. I want to die for you.
So that's it. That's why I left it around here. So moving forward, the way I love doing my mix, before I start adding anything to my vocal chain, I love taking things out, those bad frequencies. And my go EQ is this FabFilter Q3. So what I did here is all these things I'm taking down is the bad frequencies. Okay, let me just show you in and out of this of this EQ, so you'll be able to hear the work done by this EQ. So but one day I'll do a full tutorial explaining how to do a proper EQ on your vocal. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so this here is the EQ. Let me just do in and out so you hear how the EQ sound and the work it's doing.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria, the way you give me like a fire. Fine girl from Asia, was her name Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria, the way you give me like a fire.
You can see just only adding the EQ, cutting the right place that I'm supposed to cut. You can see how the EQ is already sounding fantastic. Yeah, what I did is I rolled off this end. That's the low end. I rolled off this low end. Then here I started taking down those bad frequencies. I wish there's enough time for me to go through this EQ to show you what's the work done on it, because EQ is where the mixing is actually being done. EQ, you just have to take your time to equalize your vocal. But I'll take out time one day to make a tutorial on EQ alone. So the next plugin I'm adding is the de-esser, and this de-esser is from Waves. So what I did is I think this should be about the default. I didn't really touch anything around this frequency range. I think so. I didn't touch anything. So I just dialed this place down a bit to make sure it's really getting the S's.
Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha.
You can hear the she. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Okay, let me take it out so you hear.
Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha.
You can see that when I took out the EQ, the Aisha was a bit sharp. You can hear how it's really affecting the ear. And if you did not do your de-essing properly, when your listener plays your song for a very long time, those sounds will start affecting the ear, especially when the person is using earpiece. So you just have to take out those bad frequencies so it won't really hurt your listener's ears.
Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria.
So the next thing I'm adding is my compressor. So here I'm using Arcom from Waves also. So let me show you what this one is doing.
Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah. Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah. Fine girl from Asia.
Yeah, you can see how my compressor was able to reduce the volume, because I know that's the obvious thing that everybody heard. The volume of the vocal was reduced, and as the volume was reduced, it straightened the vocal, like it made it sound on the same level. Not fine girl from Asia. What's your name? Shena Aisha. So your compressor just helps you level your vocal, make sure they both sound on the same volume, and with that it has, in fact, it just makes the vocal sound nice. I don't want to go start talking much about it. So you can see reduce the volume. Yeah, quite all right. It reduced the volume. What I can do also on this is to increase the gain here. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
What's her name? Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. I wanna die for you.
You can see I can also increase the gain here to make it come up and sit on the mix like the vocal, because now the beat is overpowering the vocal, but I didn't do that yet. So how was I able to compress this vocal? I left it in the ratio in 2.0, but how I love compressing my vocal, I love using ratio 4:1. That's what I love using. But this, I just left it in ratio 2 because I felt here it sounded good here. And my threshold, I reduced it to about maybe -21. My attack 3, my release 160. That's what I did here. So the next one on it, why I didn't increase the gain here, you see it later why I didn't increase the gain here. So the next thing I added is my SSL comp, and this SSL channel, I just added high end here. I increased this bell to about 9.7, you can see here, and I also increased here to about 5, while I reduced this low mid frequency to -2.8. Yeah, so let me show you what it's actually doing. Let me take it out, then I'll just dial it in and dial it out so you hear the work it's doing.
Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah. Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Fine girl from Asia. What's her name? Shena Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah.
I'm sure you can hear how adding those high end to the mix, just those little high end, you can hear how it was able to make the vocals sound clean. Yeah, you can hear that everything, all the detail of the vocal started coming out, started adding this little sweetness to the vocal. So that's the power of your high end. I love using high end when mixing, because I just noticed it has a way of making the vocal sound sweet. But don't exaggerate it, because that's the problem with human ear. We believe volume is volume is the power. When you start adding this high end, it somehow adds volume to your mix, so just be careful. So because of that high end I've added, what I'm adding next, I'm adding another de-esser to just tame those high end, because the way I increase those high ends, a lot of sibilants will start coming out more, like that Aisha will now become louder, and those S's and those T's will come louder. So I added another de-esser to tame those vocal.
Fine girl from Asia.
So that's just the work of the second de-esser. So because of that volume that was low, I added CLA 76. So this one is just to bring up the vocal and make it sit on the mix. This is from Waves. This is like a compressor too.
Fine girl from Asia. Was a nation Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah. Fine girl from Asia. Was a nation Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like.
You can hear the power from that plugin. That's CL. Sorry, I forgot to explain what I did there. So what I did here was after adding the vocal, I just, in the input I left it in 30, the output in 18, the attack in 3, while the release in, this should be about it should be 4. So this, I just added this to just carry up the volume a bit to sit on the mix, so it will make the instrumental overpowering the vocal. So that's just it on that. Lastly, why I love adding this fresh air to my vocal is because there's how it adds this shine to my vocal. It makes it sound really good. I'm going to show you the work of it. So, and I just left it, the power, I left it in, this is the mid air, I left it in 10, while the high air, I left it in 10. So let me show you a sample of the job it's doing. Let me play it without it, then I'll put it so you hear.
Fine girl from Asia. Was a nation Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah. Fine girl from Asia. Was a nation Aisha. Do me like malaria. Love the way you give me like a fire. I won't die for your matter. Oh. Really?
You can hear how sweet and powerful this plugin is, fresh air. So that's it on my vocal, chain. That's it on my vocal chain. So the next thing I added to add more sweetness to it is I started using a lot of effects on a parallel level. In terms of, you can see my delay on the parallel level, parallel compression also. I added compression on a parallel level. That's why I called it PCOM, that's parallel compression. And I also added saturation, I added reverb, and I added doubler. So the reverb, what I did, I've made like a bunch of videos out talking about the reverb. This particular one, what I did is when you do 75,000, because I wanted a longer reverb a bit, I wanted a reverb that is a little bit long. Yeah, normally what I do sometimes is I use 60,000 divided by the BPM, which is 90, divided by the BPM. Then I multiply by 2 and multiply by 2 again. That's depending on how long I want the reverb to be. But I notice when I do multiply that 60,000, when I divide that 60,000 by the BPM, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, that's depending on how long. Yeah, it somehow makes the reverb sound bigger and more longer. Yeah, so I don't want that kind of heavy reverb. I wanted something that is a bit longer than the 60,000. So I went for 75,000 divided by the BPM divided by 2, 75,000 divided by the BPM, which is 90, multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 2 again. So I was able to get this number here. That's this 166. Yeah, I was able to get that. That's how I was able to dial this in. So I love using gold plates when you are working on your vocal. The reverb to go for is usually the gold kind, the plate kind of reverb, sorry, except you want something else, except you are aiming for a particular kind of sound. Maybe you want a hall kind of sound, or you want choir, how do they call like cathedral when you are in the church and all that, except you are aiming for a particular kind of sound. But if you just want your go-to-go reverb, just use gold plates. It's really, really good. So here, my brightness, I left it in 65. All these are just in default. Yeah, the decay rate, I left it in 200. This FabFilter Pro R from FabFilter. So, and my pre-delay, I left it in 45. How was I able to get this pre-delay? So after using 75,000 to get this one, I used 60,000 to get this. Yeah, you can watch some of my reverb tutorial. You'll be able to understand the 75,000, the 60,000, and how I was able to divide and do the math to get these numbers. Yeah, you'll be able to get that. You can just watch some of my tutorials. Okay, that's on the reverb. So when I added that reverb, this is how it's sounding. Or let me say, when I added everything, I came up with this sound.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Aisha. Do me like malaria, love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, fine girl from Asia, was her name Aisha. Do me like malaria, love the way you give me like a fire. I won't die for you.
Yeah, another thing again is I want to quickly show a backup here, which I added some effects. So let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a tutorial on this particular kind of backup effect. Yeah, let me just play.
Give me good vibe, Monico Sarewa. Room 3OC, the fall of Fenwa. Mama waiting for you, Monico Sarewa.
Yeah, let me know if you want me to do a tutorial showing this kind of effects on that backup. So, and another thing I want to talk about again is this crispy. I called it crispy because this has a way of adding air to your mix. So I've done a full tutorial explaining this, so you can watch out that tutorial to know I was able to get this sound. It's really, really nice and has a way of making your vocals sound pretty clean and good. So how was I able to do? Okay, let me first of all play the song without this parallel sound so we know the work it's doing. Let me just mute. Let's go.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Aisha. Do me like malaria, love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, fine girl from Asia, was her name Aisha. Do me like malaria, love the way you give me like a fire. I won't die for your matter. Oh.
So I was able to do this. Let me go quickly to it. The same fresh air. I created an FX channel, those using Cubase. I created an FX channel. So on this FX channel, I'm adding fresh air to it. I'm adding fresh air, the mid air 20, the high air 40. So after adding that, then I'm adding virtual mix track also from this virtual mix track is from Slate Digital. So I'm adding the revival to it. While that revival, I'm taking this shimmer to about 28.9 and the thickness to about 13.2. So then go back to the mix and you send, you can see I named it crispy. You can see I'm sending it to this channel. I'm sending it to this. So, and here I'm leaving it in 0 because here is where I will control how I want it to sound. So go back to the crispy here. can see on the fader, you can see I took it to -20. This is where let me play it. Let me play it, then I'll exaggerate here so you see the sound, so you hear the sound. Sorry. What will happen is it will increase in volume because I'm adding a lot of high end to the mix, so definitely it will increase the volume. So you just have to be careful when doing this. Make sure the louder you, the more you add this, the more you think the vocal is sweet. But believe me, you are killing the mix. So just take it down to a reasonable amount. Don't make it sound too much. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Fine girl from Asia, was her name Aisha. Do me like malaria, love the way you give me like a fire. Oh, ah. Fine girl from Asia, was her name Aisha. Do me like malaria, love the way you give me like a fire. I wanna die for your matter, oh. Really my body and really my soul. I wanna craze for your matter, oh.
So I just wanted to exaggerate it so you hear how it sounds.
I'm okay, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, naughty. I'm a yopa, opa, 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 opa. I'm okay, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, naughty. I'm a yopa, opa, 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 opa. I'm a shalewa, moniko sarewa. Moniko sarewa.